Do you use alcohol as a way to unwind and relax? Does your social life revolve around using alcohol? Do you want to quit drinking, but you're at a loss of what to do next, how to replace the alcohol in your life? Do you find yourself irresistibly drawn back to your old way of life time and time again? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Now, alcohol is a drug, and like using any other type of drug, there are long-term negative consequences as well as the short-term ones that you're going through every day. Now, perhaps you've tried to cut down many times, and maybe you've even tried to stop drinking alcohol altogether, but you just keep coming back to it again and again. Now, most people fail to completely stop using alcohol because just stopping using alcohol is just not enough. In an ideal world, you'd stop drinking alcohol and your life would just improve. Everything would improve. It just makes sense. You stop the poisoning and you get better. Now, I've been there. I quit drinking after 30 years. And during the last few years of those drinking years, I was really starting to suffer the consequences of just all that accumulated boozing, all that accumulated toxins in my system. So when I did stop, there were just many, many, many improvements in my life. Now, when you stop physically, your life is going to improve. Among other things, you're not putting these toxins into your body anymore. You won't have to suffer through any more hangovers, and your body can recover and repair all the damage that the alcohol has caused. Mentally, your life will improve. You'll start to think clearer without these dangerous chemicals running rampage through your brain. Your memory is going to improve long-term and short-term. And you'll have much more improved capacity to think things through, to plan effectively, and to carry out those plans during your life. Now, the problem for most people, as it was for me, is the outside world, what's happening in your environment, in the life that you've built yourself through all these years of drinking. Now, this comes down to the drinking habit, to your habit. Now, habits in general are good. They make it so that you can do normal everyday things without relearning each aspect of that task every time you do it. So habits give you the ability to drive your car, to brush your teeth, to tie your shoelaces, and every other skill that you've learned in your life. Now, as you know, habits can be bad. Any drug taking, watching too much TV, overeating, these are all examples of bad or unhealthy habits. Let's call them unhealthy. Now, habits are like taking a well-worn path. Once you're on the path, you can sort of follow it without too much thought or without too much effort. And your brain loves that. It loves expediency, getting things done, whether that's a task or practicing a skill in the most efficient way possible. Now, efficiency equals less taxation on the mind, less taxation on the body, which means that you need to gather less resources. In the old days, it means that you don't have to go around searching for lots and lots more, food just to do the normal day-to-day things. Now, alcohol use is one of those well-worn paths. Because we drink alcohol on such a regular basis, that particular well-worn path has been worn very deeply and involves very many aspects of our normal lives, including relaxation, stress management, celebration, commiseration, all those things. Now, the reason why many people fail to stop drinking is because they try to carry on living the same lives, taking the same well-worn pathways, only without the alcohol. Now, the bad news is that this pathway is well-worn for one reason. It always leads you to the same destination, to alcohol use. Now, if you keep taking that same path, you're always going to end up in that same destination. So, to find a new destination, you have to find a new route. You've got to find one that's not so well defined. You've got to create your own new pathways. But how do you do that? Where do you start? Which direction do you take? How do you know if you're on the right pathway or the wrong pathway? Now, I've been where you are now. I tried to moderate my drinking and I failed every single time. I failed because I failed to see that alcohol is a drug. It's a drug that your body builds a tolerance to, and the more you drink, the more you have to drink to get the same reward, the buzz to get drunk. If you moderate to only a couple of drinks, you only get a couple of drinks worth of buzz, which always leaves you wanting more, leaves you pining for more, craving for more alcohol. Have you ever seen like a mouse running around on the inside of one of those plastic wheels, in a cage, and it's just going round and round and round? That's what we do when we moderate. We get nowhere. We only get right back to where we started from, just spinning around, spinning our wheels. Now, I tried to quit, same sort of thing. I stopped drinking because I had a DUI and I lost my license. And I only quit because I needed to work. I didn't see anything wrong with my alcohol use. I only saw it as a normal part of my life. So when I finally did go back onto the booze, it wasn't such a big thing. Now, when I did quit drinking for good, nearly 3 years ago, I was still stuck in my old thought patterns, trying to pursue the things that I'd always done, live the same lifestyle that I'd always lived, only this time without the alcohol. Now, I didn't know what to do. I was afraid of the things that I'd find, if I stepped outside of that lifestyle, afraid of not liking what I found, afraid of not fitting in. I tried drinking soft drinks and I failed. Probably contributed to, not being able to sleep properly in the first month. I just couldn't sleep. So I think drinking all that sugar and stuff, contributed towards that. I tried going to the pub with my mates and I failed. I was bored to tears. Without the alcohol dumbing me down, I saw a side of my friends that I hadn't seen before, and one that I didn't particularly like when I was sober. I tried alcohol-free wine and beer and failed at that as well. All it did was keep me hooked into the alcohol thinking, to the old life, yearning for that old life. Now, I'm in a place now where I don't recognize myself when I look back to who I was before. When I see pictures of myself sitting in the pub with, like a pint held up for the camera and a big smile on my face, I don't know who that person was. I don't recognize them. It's a different life. My whole life has been changed since I quit. I just feel like I'm a completely different person. Now, if you've watched any of my videos on alcoholmastery.com, you'll know that I often say that the act of stopping drinking alcohol is easy. It's the easiest thing for you to do. If you don't put any alcohol into your mouth anymore, you've achieved your aim. You've stopped drinking. Drinking the alcohol, however, is only one part of this unhealthy habit. When you stop drinking alcohol, most of the cravings, the alcohol thinking, the feelings about being socially isolated, those are all nothing to do with the alcohol in itself per se. They're all part of the accumulated habitual behavior that you've built up over your whole life as an alcohol user. So you may have stopped drinking the alcohol, but stopping the habit is a whole different story. And drinking was a part of your life. It was embedded into everything that you did. And it's still there. That drinking, those triggers, all those things are still there. Habits just don't go away that easily. You still have to live your life, and those alcohol triggers are still going to fire off as you go about your day-to-day existence. So you can't help but keep stepping into that well-worn path, the one that leads to alcohol use. Now, when you quit drinking, you're going to find that this path is just filled with these little holes, these little gaps. These are the parts of your life where the automatic behavior of drinking alcohol just wants to kick in, but it can't because there's no alcohol anymore. You don't drink anymore. So, you're just stuck in this rut. We arrive at these gaps that used to be filled by alcohol, and it's like we've hit a brick wall. We can't continue. We have to stop and think. We're just stumped. We know that there's a very simple solution. Our mind is telling you, it's going, take a drink and everything will be better. You can continue down this well-worn and comfortable path. All you have to do is open a couple of cans or a bottle of wine and everything will be cool. But you don't drink anymore. You tell yourself you don't drink anymore. And that feeling of helplessness is what we know as the craving. We're stuck in this kind of limbo. You get stuck in the rut. And your mind knows exactly what to do next, like I've said. And it's what you've always done next. You follow the sequence. You follow the sequence until it's drink alcohol, and then you drink alcohol and everything's cool. But when there's no more alcohol, you've blocked that behavior. You can't do it anymore. So what do you do now? Now, that's the point of this video. I've just made a video course, Hang Loose Without Booze video course, and it's all about finding those alternative behaviors. Now, this course will show you that anything that you get out of alcohol, anything that you can find in alcohol, you can also find in natural and healthy alternatives. This course is going to show you how to relax, how to have fun, how to manage your stress levels. You'll discover how to alter your nutrition positively to affect your moods. You'll also learn some of the very quick methods of loosening up your body and your mind. And more importantly, we'll explore some of the ways you can radically alter your thinking about your own stress and relaxation. I'll show you how to easily lift your moods and to keep them just naturally elevated. You'll get a natural high without a drug in sight. Now, the material in this course is aimed at giving you just some very simple skills that will just cost you nothing to implement. Very little time and virtually no money. They can be done immediately, wherever you are, and you don't need a lot of practice to become expert in your own field. Now, alcohol, on the other hand, is a drug that has just so many costs. Among the costs of using this drug is your health, your relationships, your thinking, your memories, and your money. Now, my drinking used to cost me in excess of $100 a week, sometimes more, depending on what I was doing and what I was buying because I was drinking. And, the costs of not going to work the next day all added up. So I reckon about between $5,000, $10,000 every year alcohol used to cost me. And the average cost of drinking for the average person is about $30 a week, which is $1,560 a year. The cost of this course is $25. So thanks for watching. If you want more information, just click on the button down below. I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery. Onwards and upwards.